What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another news video. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including a former WWE superstar and WCW Tag Team Champion passes away, Brock Lesnar puts over a young superstar, the real reason why Steve Cutler was released, the next Brock Lesnar signs with the WWE, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Unfortunately, sad news as we open up today's video as Butch has passed away. The former WWE superstar and one half of the WCW tag team Doom, where he wrestled alongside the WWE Hall of Famer Ron Simmons, passed away at the age of only 66. Reed suffered 2 heart attacks this year and was fighting for his life. Sadly, the fight ended today as it was announced on his Instagram page that he passed away. We'd like to offer our condolences to the Reed family and friends during this difficult time. Next up, the Superstar Spectacle scores spectacular success. The WWE is reporting that its recent network special was a spectacular rating success. The latest Observer had a recap of the WWE's recent Q4 conference call with investors and noted WWE President Nick Khan talked about the success of the Superstar Spectacle on Sony in India. He said it was viewed by 20 million people on all the different platforms. This can be misleading because YouTube measures viewers who may only watch 30 seconds or less, and that it did 5 times the numbers that Raw and SmackDown do in the market. He said they are looking at more content. The Superstar Spectacle featured WWE superstars alongside talent that will be showcased in the WWE's upcoming NXT India program. 20 million is damn impressive though. Next up, does WWE want a Roman Reigns-Brock Lesnar rematch? Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar had some epic battles during Reigns' quest for a world championship, with both men battling in some of the most hard-hitting matches in recent memory. Although it seems to be a lock that Age will battle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 37, Meltzer is reporting that the WWE is thinking of Reigns battling Lesnar again somewhere down the road. As far as an idea goes, Reigns vs Lesnar at the WrestleMania is on the table as an obvious match down the line, but not this year. It's a story with a Heyman storyline, and there are many different ways you could tell it. Roman Reigns was a babyface and Lesnar was a heel in their past battles, but what if Lesnar were to return? Would he work as a babyface, or would he still be the Beast? Equally important, who would Paul Heyman side with? These questions could freshen up a program that some fans might otherwise see as tired given the two superstars' many matches in the past, although this new dynamic would be very interesting. Next up, Brock Lesnar puts over a young superstar. It looks like Brock Lesnar was impressed with the first main roster performance by a rising superstar. During an appearance on the Start Today podcast, Dominic Mysterio discussed Brock Lesnar's praise for him after Dominic's involvement in the 2019 Survivor Series bout between The Beast and Rey Mysterio. After I got my ass beat, I went to say thank you to everyone. I remember Brock telling me that he was surprised because I knew more than he thought I was going to, with how I place myself and things I would do to feed into things. I don't think they were expecting me to know what I was doing. That was really cool right off the bat. Next up, the real reason why Steve Cutler was fired. Well, the WWE has parted ways with Steve Cutler, who debuted on SmackDown in 2020 as one of the Forgotten Sons faction, and then he was repackaged as one of King Corbin's henchmen. According to Fightful Select, Cutler caught COVID-19 in early January, earning Vince McMahon's wrath. Dave Meltzer provided further details on why McMahon was so irate. Steve Cutler, 33, was released on 4th February. He and Wesley Blake were put into a group with Corbin. Then Cutler, the boyfriend of Deonna Purrazzo of Impact, got sick, and the whole idea was dropped after he missed a week. This was said to be a disciplinary reason that got Vince McMahon livid when he heard about it. Purrazzo didn't directly reference it, but moments after his release, she only tweeted, "COVID strikes again." The belief is that it had to do with his New Year's Eve party that led to that, and that McMahon had promised a few wrestlers like Reigns a safe environment when he returned, and Cutler was around all the talent. Cutler was training at the Performance Center in the Big Guys class on the day he got fired. He is believed to be the first pro wrestler fired for getting COVID. The argument can be made that Cutler wasn't fired for catching the Rona, but for his lax behavior in terms of safeguarding himself and his fellow wrestlers. The WWE has repeatedly cautioned its wrestlers about careless behavior, and whatever shortcomings the company has in protecting its wrestlers, the wrestlers have a certain standard of care to maintain. Ironically, Cutler's Forgotten Sons teammate Jackson Riker seemed like he might be getting released after Riker received major heat backstage for pro-Trump comments along with comments on the Black Lives Matter movement. Instead, Cutler is out and he released the following statement. Unfortunately, today I was released. It was shocking to say the least, but I am excited about the future and all the possibilities in front of me. Thanks for your continued support. 90 days, the countdown begins. According to Wrestling News' Paul Davis, Cutler should be able to sign with a new promotion in early May. Next up, WWE breaks record for annual profits. The WWE had a banner year in 2020 despite the pandemic that shut down much of the planet. While the WWE's Q4 earnings fell short of projected numbers, the company posted its biggest profits ever. Dave Meltzer broke down the details saying, "As widely expected, even with the pandemic, the increase in television revenue led to WWE's most successful year financially in history, with $974,207,000 in revenue and $131,892,000 in profits, the first time the company has ever topped $100 million in profits during a given year." There were a number of factors at play due to the pandemic, the biggest being the loss of revenue from live events and merchandise sales at said live events. However, Meltzer noted they saved considerable money by running its shows from the PC, and the later moves to the Thunderdome were less costly than touring. Add in the incredible numbers of releases and furloughs, some leading to termination of WWE staff, and the company trimmed its budget. At this point, the WWE is sitting pretty thanks to its current deal with the USA Network, Fox, and its recent sale of the WWE Network to Peacock. While their ratings continue to decrease, the case can be made that Vince McMahon is optimizing the WWE for a sale in the next few years. Like their deal with Fox, the WWE's new partnership with Peacock will see NBC promoting WWE shows heavily, which could lead to bigger numbers. But despite its big profits, the WWE stock declined after the Q4 earning report, with Variety reporting that in Q4 revenue fell 26% from the prior quarter to $238.2 million. At this juncture, Vince McMahon appears to be playing a short game, ignoring declining stock prices and ratings, with the hope that WWE's new exposure on Peacock will make it an attractive product for an outright purchase. The downside is that if the stock and ratings continue to decline, they could see a tremendous drop in value. Next up, the man dubbed the next Brock Lesnar signs with WWE. A University of Central Florida football player, Parker Boudreaux, has signed a development deal with the WWE. Parker, who bears an uncanny resemblance to Brock Lesnar and uses the next big thing as his tagline, has been praised by Paul Heyman and is now WWE bound. Dave Meltzer shared some info on Parker's football career, stating that Boudreaux was the starting right guard for Central Florida in 2019. He missed the last season due to a concussion, but was to come back in 2021 for his senior year. He was backstage at the 20th January NXT TV tapings. He's 6'4" and played the line at 301 pounds. At Bishop Moore High School in Winter Garden, Florida, he was a Max Prep's first-team All-American offensive guard after being second-team as a junior, leading to his team to the state championship, played in a number of state all-star football games, was heavily recruited and ranked by ESPN at the 21st best recruit in the nation at his position. Parker has potential, but it remains to be seen whether he can make the transition from football to pro wrestling, but obviously we've seen in the past it can be done. But there you have it guys, the wildest wrestling news, stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.